Fighting games are hard. There's definitely a steep learning curve to get over when you pick up one of these games, and many people get frustrated and quit before getting too far along. Which is a shame, cause I think fighting games only get more and more fun the more you understand about the game. So I'm going to show you guys where to start when you pick up a fighting game, or at least how I approach learning a new game to hopefully make it a little bit easier to get into these games. So first things first, you gotta pick a character to play. Each fighting game should have at least one character that you'll like. After all, they usually have a big expansive cast full of different and colorful characters. It could be the way the character looks, maybe they have cool looking moves, or you just really like the feel of the character when you play it. The point is, you just need to find a character you like. That's the most important part. Sure, you can pick a character based off some tier list that you find online if you want to play the quote-unquote best character in the game, but ultimately, I think that as long as you like the character, it will be easier to learn how to play that character. Plus, it's not like you have to stick with this character forever. In fact, for most people, the character that they first pick up doesn't necessarily become their main character in the long run. I personally suggest playing all of the characters at least once, maybe versus a computer or a friend, just to kind of get a feel for them, and then pick the one you enjoyed the most. Once you've picked up a character, it's time to take them into the training room. The training room is your best friend. In here, press all the buttons so you can figure out what they do. Take a look at the command list, just try things out. It's easier to learn what your character does in here when you don't have to worry about some other character rushing you down trying to murder you. Another good option is to jump into the trial or mission modes. They're kind of called different things in different games, but basically most fighting games these days has a mode like this that teaches you how to string moves together to form combos. It's a good way to learn your character's moves and maybe learn a basic combo or two, which is the point I want to make about going into the training room after picking a character in the first place. You want to learn a basic B&B or bread and butter combo. Your B&B combo will be something that you kind of default to deal damage in any match. This combo doesn't have to be the most optimal or difficult combo in the game. In fact, it should be something simple that will string some of your moves together, deal damage, and knock your opponent down. Just search for simple combos on YouTube or Google. There should be plenty of sources that will teach you a simple combo. More obscure games like Guilty Gear and Unis might be a little tougher to find those resources, but they still exist out there. Also, the mission/trial modes will provide some simple combos for you to learn and practice, and they will slowly ramp up into those combos. You know, they're not just going to throw you into the deep end, so those are good ways to learn too. Don't feel like you have to complete every single mission to be able to play a character. At some point, these missions just become absolutely ridiculous and are hard just for the sake of being hard. So maybe just take one of those moves from the trials or mission modes into the training room and try to do it from memory. And don't worry if you don't get it right away. None of us do. Especially if this is your first fighting game you've ever played. Your hands need to get used to the motions they need to make for these fighting games. I mean, I remember learning my first combo in a fighting game and it was freaking tough. But afterwards, it only becomes easier and easier to pick up new combos and even new games. So just be patient. You got this. If you're still having a little trouble learning the combo, break it down into small little parts. Take the first few moves by themselves and practice them until you get those down, and then take the next few moves and practice them by themselves. And do this until you finish the combo separately, and then start putting it back together 2 parts at a time. This way, you can practice the parts that you're having the most trouble with and get them under your fingers. Once you've learned a combo and you feel comfortable performing it, it's time to take it into some real matches. This can be against computers in something like arcade mode, or if you feel brave enough, hop online against some real players. Now, the goal of these matches aren't to win, but to pull off the combo that you practice in the training mode. The biggest obstacle to overcome in new fighting games is that button mashing panic that seems to overtake you as soon as there's another player or computer facing you down trying to eliminate your health bar. Stay calm. Try to keep some of that cool you had in the training room and do your best to not mash buttons. Honestly, it's instinct to do so, but don't do it. In fact, don't press anything but block unless you're specifically trying to land your combo at this point. Don't worry about winning or losing, just focus on implementing that new combo that you learned and landing it under pressure. If you can land it even once, count that as a win. Because once you land it once, something in your brain suddenly clicks and it becomes easier the next time you attempt to land it. And trust me, once you land it, you'll be like, holy shit, look at that, I'm a freaking badass. Even if your opponent proceeds to beat your ass afterwards, you'll still feel accomplished. Take that feeling and keep running with it, and keep landing that combo. It'll only get easier and easier. Once you feel a bit comfortable with that combo, take it back into the training room and maybe look for different ways to get into that combo from different hits. Because after all, you're not always going to be able to hit the opponent with the same perfect starter that you want to. Particularly, try to learn how to get to that B&B combo from a low hitting attack and maybe like an overhead. If you're able to learn this B&B from a low, a high, and a regular hit, you become a much bigger threat to your opponent. Because now, you're able to deal damage to your opponent from multiple hits, instead of just one single hit that you're hoping that you can hit. Again, take this into some real matches and try to land this combo with the new starters while under pressure. Then, once you feel comfortable, you can start learning new things. And that's what fighting games are about. You want to take small steps, learning new things here and there. And once you feel like you've learned something new and feel comfortable implementing that into a real match, set yourself a new goal for the next match. Something like, this match I'm going to focus on blocking. I want to be able to block my opponent's mix-ups better, and also just not get hit. So maybe for this match, I'm not even going to attack. I'm just going to try to block for as long as I can. Or maybe you feel like you want to learn how to throw better. So focus on that. Try to land at least one throw in your next match. Then once you do that, up it to 3 throws in a match. Set little goals like this for yourself each game and count it as a win when you finally pull it off. If you end up playing someone better than you online, watch what they do closely. If something they do opens you up, or they do something and you're like, oh snap, that was cool, try to copy them / steal their tech. Head to the practice room and try to imitate what they did. If they do something you don't understand, you can always watch the replay. Most fighting games have a replay feature that you can use to go back and rewatch your games and learn from them. And plus, you can always go online and look for some help in the forums or through YouTube videos to help you better understand what was going on. Most people are friendly and willing to help because we want to see more people playing the games we love and enjoying themselves. The point is, enter each match with the mindset of learning, not winning. If you pick up a fighting game and have the mentality of, I have to win every game, you're going to have a bad time. Simply put, losing is a part of the process of learning a fighting game for the first time, or even picking up a new fighting game you've never played before. You're going to lose a lot, like a lot. But this is fine, because with each loss you can learn something new and get better. Sure, it might feel bad sometimes if you go against someone who is leagues better than you, but understand for them to get to that point, they had to go through the same things you're going through right now. Here, take a look at my win rate in Unist. Now I would say I'm a pretty competent player in this game. It's the game that I put the most time into, and I've learned my character the most and the systems of this game the most, but I still have a negative win rate. That's because I lost a lot as I learned how to get better at this game. Now I win a lot more games than I used to, but even still I'm always seeking to get better and learn something, so I'll play against people that are better than me. And I might lose more against the better players, but I'm learning and getting better myself, allowing me to do more things in the game and have more fun. Anyways, I hope this was helpful in some way for you guys who want to get into fighting games. It can be a long road sometimes, but just try to have fun with it and don't worry about being the next Goichi or Sonic Fox of fighting games, and take them at your own pace. Let me know if this video was helpful by liking or leaving a comment down below, and remember, each thing you learn in one fighting game can be taken into the next. So be encouraged that after taking those first few steps, it'll get a bit easier the next time around.